If there's one thing I love, it's my D&D character, Penelope the Deep Gnome Barbarian. But if there's a second thing I love, it's pretty journals. You can probably tell where this is going. If you've been following me a while, you might have seen my video about the journal I made for my warlock character, Aisling. Unfortunately, that campaign has since fizzled out, but I've been playing Penelope in a different game for about 2 years now, and it's high time she get the same treatment. We normally play with D&D Beyond, but I'm ADHD and easily distracted, so I've been thinking that an analog character sheet might help me focus better. Plus, it'll be really cute. Just like with Aisling's journal, I'm starting with a miniature binder. I picked this cute lavender color to go with Penelope's cool color scheme. I like using a binder because it lets me move, replace, or insert new pages if I need to change up the journal as she levels. I'll be using clear plastic sleeves rather than just hole punching the pages. This doesn't just protect them, it also allows me to use dry erase markers to jot down temporary stuff like hit points and death saves. I'll also be putting a bunch of blank lined pages into the back for me to take notes during sessions because I'm that kind of nerd. And of course, I picked up some colored construction paper, scrapbooking paper, washi tape, and various stickers so I can decorate the absolute crap out of these pages. Now I just need some colored pens and all your basics: ruler, glue stick, scissors, and I'm ready to get started on the content. To keep these page layouts from being super boring, I've printed off a bunch of images. Some are photos of my cosplay, some are stock images, and some are art pieces that have either been gifted to me or that I've commissioned. If you want to check out any of these artists, by the way, I've linked them all in the description, and their usernames will be on screen when I add their pieces to the journal. I'm starting by adding a little mushroom sticker to the front of the journal. This is a pack of 100, so I've obviously got a lot to choose from. I'm gonna glue it down because I want to make sure it stands up to being tossed into my D&D bag every week, and I'm not sure how strong the sticker glue is. I mapped out basic concepts for all the interior pages, so I know where I'm gonna put everything, and now I can just focus on the aesthetics. Since you only see one page when you first open the journal, I want to have a little cover sheet. I'm gonna center it around this cosplay photo, which is one of my very favorites from this set. I want to put her name on the cover page too, so I'm just sketching out the script first in pencil so I can go over it in pen and hopefully not screw it up. Except I definitely screwed it up a few times. It still feels like it needs something on the bottom to balance it, so I'm cutting out some of the mushrooms that I printed and accenting them with a little stripe of washi tape. And there it is! This is the first page I'll open to every time, and I think this will make me smile at the beginning of every session. That was pure aesthetics, but now we gotta get working on the harder part, turning an information-dense character sheet into pretty, readable, functional journal pages. I'm planning to divide it up by purpose, so I'll have all her ability scores and skills on the first spread, and then combat-related stuff will go on later pages. I'm starting with the images I'm gonna use, so I can arrange the information around them. For these pages, I'm using a portrait by Abs Bailey and a full-body illustration by Frida Bergholtz, who actually designed Penelope's outfit. These two pieces have very similar styles, almost vintage-looking, so I think they'll complement each other really well. I've divided up the main sections of the character sheet, and I'm gonna put them on individual pieces of paper to try to break up the text wall a little. Plus, if I mess any of them up, I don't have to start the whole thing over. I do it all in pencil first and then go over most of it in pen. Anything that might change as Penelope levels up, I leave in pencil so I can adjust it. I kept these layouts really similar to the standard character sheet. I'm sure there are more creative ways to write out skills and ability scores, but I'm so used to the standard layout by now, I didn't want to go too far off from it. The previous page was basically dedicated to ability scores and modifiers, so everything that doesn't fit there goes on this second page. Hit points, armor class, stuff like that. This was when I realized that I hadn't found a place to put passive perception or dark vision, so I just squeezed those onto a little rectangle and stuck it over Penelope's head. Whew, close one. With this spread completed, everything I need for social roleplay and exploration is grouped into one area, which of course brings us to combat. I have a document I keep on Google Drive that's a sort of a combat cheat sheet, mostly because D&D Beyond doesn't actually include the rage bonus and I always forget to add it. But it's also useful to leave notes for myself, reminding me of when certain features are most useful. For the first page, I'm listing out all of the different attacks Penelope can do, including their attack modifier and their damage, as well as any special features that they might have. There's a little gap at the bottom, so I'm adding some more washi tape and the cutest doodle in the world by Miss Wendy Go. The next next page is dedicated more to features I might forget about and advice to myself on when to use certain things. For example, I have a feature called Instinctive Pounce, where I can move up to half my speed when I enter a rage. Also, my DM allows me to use any of my Path of the Beast features during rage rather than selecting one for each rage. I usually just use claws since it gives me the most attacks and deals the most average damage, but I have notes to myself here about when it might be useful to use the bite instead, and a reminder that my tail is useful as a reaction. For the art on this page, I've chosen this adorable illustration by my friend Kelsey Michelle, also known as Tough Tink. For the next spread, we're doing features and traits, right after this week's wonderful sponsor.
Greetings, fellow indoor enthusiasts! Today, I'm going to show you how to create maps with today's sponsor, Dungeon Fog, while staying safely inside. It's easy to make a map of a campsite using Dungeon Fog's thousands of assets and textures, like these wagons and tents. And any asset can be recolored, resized, and rotated to suit your map. But then, night falls. With dynamic lighting, you can make the forest look just as spooky and haunted as it probably definitely is. What's in those dark shadows beyond the wagons? You don't know! But then, you hear a sound in the woods. It's coming from these ancient ruins. You can quickly create walls and rooms, even irregular ones. But then, the floor, it collapses! Ah! You find yourself in these horrifying underground tunnels, because Dungeon Fog lets you create multi-layer maps. Oh god, I can't do this! It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to make the maps yourself. There's a public map library where you can use and edit maps made by over 350,000 other Dungeon Fog users. You can get started with a free account, and when you're ready to access the full asset library and make unlimited maps, use the code GinnyD for 10% off your annual subscription. Can you excuse me for a moment? I gotta go make sure I locked the door.
Okay, back to features and traits. The features and traits spread is pretty much just gonna be a text wall, so I'm bringing in these little raw crystals I printed off to make the page a little less boring to look at. Likewise, on the next page with the other features and my proficiencies, I cut out another cosplay photo and paired it with some washi tape to fill in the bottom. Next up, we're gonna tackle inventory. This is a pretty short list, and I'm also including a little mini item card for a special ring that Penelope has, which is a homebrew item that required a little more detail. This only fills up about half the page, so I'm throwing in another cosplay photo and some more of those zillion mushroom stickers. Penelope is also in charge of our party's bag of holding, so I wanted to put that on a separate page so I could keep track of what's where. This bag is a recent acquisition, so there isn't much in it yet, but I'm leaving a lot of space because I suspect we'll be putting a lot more stuff in there now that we have it. That completes all the mechanical stuff I want to include, so the last few pages are going to be more story focused. First up is a page about Penelope's hometown, Bar Inen. I'm mostly including this so I can have easy access to location info about it. Our DM completely homebrewed this world, and it's pretty big, so it's helpful to note down where her hometown is in relation to other cities and landmarks. I have some images of underground caverns and mushrooms to add for flavor, and I also got this weathered map scrapbooking paper. It's definitely recognizably a map of North America, so I'm gonna hide it behind my stock images so it can contribute to the aesthetic without words like Saskatchewan being visible. By this point in the crafting process, it had been months since I made the first few pages, and I had commissioned more art, mostly of Penelope in her Path of the Beast rage form. So I went back to some earlier pages and made some adjustments. I really wanted to feature this beautiful, horrifying portrait of her transformation that I commissioned from artist Haley's, so I added an entire page that's really just for the aesthetic. I threw in some Path of the Beast text and then painted in some blood smears for the drama. Then I added this page in right before the features and traits page that details the rage mechanics. Also, as much as I adore Miss Wendigo's Rage Doodle, this felt like the only place I could fit my new commission from Carrie art of Penelope's beast form, so I wept a single tear and swapped that out. Sorry, Wendy. Now, if you watched my 7-day character development challenge video, you'll already recognize the elements on the next two pages. One is a diary entry written from Penelope's perspective on the day that she decided to leave home. The other is a letter that she wrote recently to her best friend, Red Freckle, a myconid who was injured in the Displacer Beast attack that gave her her Path of the Beast powers. I'm weathering these with a little acrylic paint and water. For the diary entry, I'm making it look really beat up because I figure she brought her diary with her on her travels, and it's it's probably seen a lot of wear and tear as a result. But also, I imagine she looks at this particular entry whenever she's feeling homesick or sad. I'm even dripping some water onto it to make teardrop stains because I'm too invested in this. As for the letter, I'm doing a little bit of a lighter pass because I'm just trying to indicate the damage that it might have taken being mailed all the way across the continent. I also made a little envelope and painted a fake wax seal so I can actually tuck the letter away into the envelope and it can be taken out and unfolded. Did anybody else have that Dragonology book as a kid that was full of little interactive pieces like this? 10 out of 10. Would love for this journal to be half as cool as that book was. I'm pairing the envelope and the letter with this amazing drawing of Penelope and Red Freckle by artist Tristan Millett. I figure this kind of contextualizes the letter and helps fill out the page. And of course, at the end, I have a bunch of lined paper where I can take session notes. One of the reasons I built this journal in such a modular style is so that I can continually update it. As the game goes on, different things will become important, and Penelope will keep changing. So I'm transferring all the unused images into the back pocket of the journal for use on future pages. But for now, I am considering the journal complete. Let's flip through the whole thing in its final form. When I did my character development challenge video a few weeks ago, everybody had a good laugh at the idea of me doing all of this work on one character and then her dying in the next session, and I'm sure people will make that same joke here. But also, next month, I'll have been playing Penelope for 2 years, and if she did die next session, that would make this journal feel even more important to me. It isn't just a character sheet, it's also a tribute to her and her story and her experiences throughout the campaign so far. Plus, my DM is a teddy bear. He'd probably cry more than I would if Penelope died. I'm not too worried. If you want to know more about Penelope, check out her introduction video here. In the meantime, if you want to make your own character journal, I have links to the products that I used in the description. There are also tons of printable character sheets in different styles available on places like Etsy if you don't want to draw everything out by hand the way I did. Ooh, it came out so good.